Hi everyone, welcome back to Junior Jewelers. I'm Miss Julia, and today we're going to be making our Shrinky Dinks. For this project, you'll need your Shrinky Dink material, your colored pencils, you might want your pencil sharpener, and you're going to want your scissors. You'll also need your grown-ups' help for this one because we do need to bake the Shrinky Dinks in either a toaster oven or a regular oven. So you can pause the video here and go get your supplies out of your bag. Now that you've had a chance to get your supplies out of your bag, I'm going to move some things so I have some space to work. I'm going to insert some video of me putting this Shrinky Dink into the oven. So I'll make some different ones with you here right now, and then when we see my toaster oven and see it getting shrunk into a Shrinky Dink, you'll see this one being made. So a few of your Shrinky Dinks have holes in them. These ones are going to be, if you would like, to make your Shrinky Dink so that you can put it either on a keychain or onto a necklace. These holes have to be punched before we put the Shrinky Dink in the oven, otherwise the hole will get too hard to poke through after the Shrinky Dink has gone through the oven because the plastic gets a lot thicker. So I'll show you a few different things that you could do. I'll start with this one here. So I want to make sure to leave my hole here, and I think I'll make this one into a keychain. So maybe I'll make a sun to go with my rainbow pin. So what I'll do is I'll use my colored pencils and color on my Shrinky Dink. I want to make sure that I make my drawing bigger than what I want my final Shrinky Dink to be. The Shrinky Dinks shrink to about somewhere between a fourth to an eighth of the size. So if I fill up this whole bit here with coloring, my whole Shrinky Dink is only going to end up being about that big, this space right in here. So I want to make sure that I make my original drawing kind of big so that it will be not too tiny when I shrink it in the oven. Then I think I'll make some clouds. And maybe some rays for my sun. Then one last thing I'm going to do, and you might need your grown-up to help you with this, is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to carefully round the edges of my Shrinky Dink. So I don't want any pointy corners on my Shrinky Dink. Like this is a very pointy corner. I'm going to take it and round it off, because if I leave the pointy corners on, they will be very sharp and pokey once my Shrinky Dink is all shrunk, and they'll hurt if I accidentally poke myself with it. So I'm going to round off these corners, and this corner I made kind of a decorative edge to match the edge of my clouds. So that one's going to be ready to go in the oven. And I'll show you one more thing. But remember, you can do yours however you would like. I think for this one, I'll make a heart. Remember, you might have the frosted Shrinky Dink or the white Shrinky Dink. Some of the kits are a little bit different from each other, so if you don't have white or if you don't have frosted, that's okay. Just use the ones that you have. So there's a heart. I like that. And then I think I'll put my name at the bottom. And I think I'm going to go over my lines and make them a little thicker so that you'll be able to see them a little bit better once my Shrinky Dink is shrunk. Then for this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I think I'll make this one into a pin. So I'll go ahead and I think I'll kind of make this one more of a circle shape. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to make sure I don't have any pointy corners, because those will not feel good. There we go. So one thing is I don't want to make any of my Shrinky Dinks smaller than about the size of the palm of my hand. For you all, it might be a little bit bigger. If you have really small hands, use one of your grown-ups' hands to help measure. But you don't want them any smaller than about 2.5 to 3 inches. Otherwise, you'll end up with very, very tiny Shrinky Dinks. So I'm going to insert some video here of the Shrinky Dinks going into the oven and my little rainbow Shrinky Dink getting shrunk down. Hi everyone, welcome to the toaster oven I'm using. I'm borrowing this one from Hoyt because it's kind of hard to film my oven. So you need to set your toaster oven or your oven with your grown-ups' help to either 350 or 400 or somewhere in between. Generally, if your oven works really well, you can do it at 350. This toaster oven runs a little bit low, so I have it up at 400. The next thing you'll need is a baking sheet and put some aluminum foil on it. That way, if you use your baking sheet for things like eating, you're not putting craft materials and food together. You'll also want your oven mitts and your grown-up to help you. So put your Shrinky Dink that's ready to go in the oven onto your tray and have your grown-up help you put it carefully in your oven or toaster oven. Now this is my favorite part. Sometimes it takes a little while, but you'll be able to see the Shrinky Dink start shrinking. So keep watching it and you'll start to see it curl up around the edges first, and then it will go towards the middle, and eventually it will lay back down flat again. You want to wait until your Shrinky Dink is flat. There it goes. So the Shrinky Dink does that where it curls up on the edges first and then the inside shrinks, because the plastic on the outside of the Shrinky Dink gets hot faster, so it contracts or curls up and bunches up faster than the inside does. That's why you just need to be patient and wait for it to all curl up and contract into a tiny little Shrinky Dink, and it will lay back flat if you just give it a little bit of time. So once your Shrinky Dink is laying pretty much flat like mine is, you can have your grown-up put back on the oven mitts and take it out of the oven or your toaster oven. You can also carefully have your grown-up pat it carefully so that it helps flatten it even better. But have your grown-up help you with that part, and then you're going to want to set it aside and let it cool completely before you touch it. Once mine is cooled completely, I'll show you how to put on your pin back. But let's take it out of the oven. Here are my finished Shrinky Dinks. So, do you remember how this one was originally almost the size of my palm? Now look how little it's gotten. That's pretty exciting. But this is why you need to remember to make your original drawing big enough. Otherwise, your Shrinky Dink will end up very tiny. So, for your Shrinky Dinks, you could make them into a pin like this one. You just need to grab one of your self-stick pin backs from your supply bag, carefully peel off the paper, and stick it on to your Shrinky Dink. Now you have a little pin, or if you did one with a hole in it, you have a few options. You can stick it right onto your key ring, like this. I'm not going to put it on all the way because it will be hard to get off and show you the other options, but you can put it directly onto your key ring, or you can use some of the wire. And if you remember from yesterday's video, we did findings. So you can do that same technique. Grab a little length of your wire, poke it through your Shrinky Dink, twist the shorter end around, and if you want, you can put on a bead or two. I think I'll put on some beads to match my Shrinky Dink. Then you can take your paintbrush and use it to make a loop and wrap the extra around. And this you can either put on to one of your keychains, either the little latch one, put it on there, or this one, or you could even take a length of your cording and make it into a necklace, however you would like. So that's how you can do your Shrinky Dinks. Just make sure that you have your grown-up help you with the oven because ovens can be hot. But I hope you enjoy making all your different Shrinky Dinks and using your imagination to make lots of different drawings and lots of unique creations. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!